My name is Seth, and I'm lucky enough to work with an amazing company called HAPSIE. This is their HAPSIE Hodgepodge. This is their Summer 2021 edition. And I have a great character inside who I would love to introduce you to. His name is Greedy Greg, and Greedy Greg is quite funny. I'm going to go ahead and throw that picture up for you so you can take a look. As Greedy Greg introduces himself, "Why, hello, reader. My name is Greg. Do you have any money?" Stories. Greedy always has an amazing business idea. Unfortunately for others, it will only ever be great for Greedy. Greg's greed always backfires. Greedy isn't a bad person. He's just greedy and is blinded by the thought of more money. He does have a heart somewhere. However, from time to time, watch out for fun animals in the background giving some extra thoughts. Pronouns used: he, him. This is our first story about Greedy Greg, and it's my pleasure to tell it to you. I'm lucky enough to write it, and the art was provided by the amazing Afif Amrullah. This episode is called Pure Green Air. In the first panel, Greedy Greg. "Free, the best type of breakfast," says Greedy Greg, and he's standing in front of a row of food, a sign above it that reads, "Free breakfast for attendees." The editor reminds us that Greedy Greg always wants what's best for him. In the next panel, a presenter explains, "As you can see, we make lots of money by selling air purifiers." But Greedy Greg is too focused on all of the food in front of him. In fact, the editor says, Greedy, did you leave any food for the others?" Of course, Greedy Greg doesn't have time to answer because the person next to him says, "I should get into this business. They are making millions." Greedy Greg has a light bulb. For me, light bulbs always meant a big idea. For Greedy Greg, it usually means a greedy idea. Later that day, Greedy Greg is talking with a clerk at an air purifier store. "It's a great investment for the environment, but the price of 100 pounds is too much for Greedy Greg." Then he overhears the clerk talking to another customer. "Sure, we'll recycle your old one for you. Properly cleaned air purifiers can be recycled for decades." But Greedy Greg is only thinking about all the kinds of money he can make. Then he sees the clerk placing the dirty air purifier in a recycle box, and he has a thought bubble, remembering the presentation he was at earlier. "Can I buy these instead?" asked Greedy Greg. "I can sell the dirty air purifiers to you for 25 pounds. But they only work after a proper cleaning," says the clerk. "No problem," says Greedy Greg. Greedy Greg is walking home with a box full of dirty air purifiers, but in his thoughts he is wearing a crown and showered by money. Sitting on his couch, Greedy Greg ignores the cleaning manual. "This is a big waste of time. Just a lick of white paint and all will be fine." Then Greedy Greg goes to his neighbor. "Brand new air purifier, just 50 pounds. Save 50% from the shops." His neighbor responds with delight. "A great deal. It's good to breathe clean air. I'll buy one. Thank you." Greedy Greg is sitting in front of his computer desk with stacks of money he is counting. On his computer screen is a message, "Order your crown now." And even the editor has to wonder, has cutting corners worked? But in the next panel, the editor reminds us, uh-oh. Oh dear. In our next panel, we can see that clouds of dirty smoke are drifting out of all of the homes on Greedy Greg's block. Now, all of his neighbors are angrily knocking at his door. He looks worried on the other side of the window, and underneath the window is a pile of dirty, smoking air purifiers. Now our editor says, "Gulp! That could be costly." Gritty Greg is holding up his hands in shock at a bill for air pollution that's being handed to him. Greedy Greg walks to the HAPSIE debt collection. He's got a briefcase of money, but it might not be enough to cover all of his expenses. "Make sure you clean those right. Nothing worse than a dirty filter," says the man with his arms folded. Greedy Greg is cleaning the filters, and the editor says, "It seems Greedy Greg couldn't pay all the fine." And that brings us to the end of our first episode of Greedy Greg. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do, and if you'd like to have this for your own, of course, you can always find the HAPSIE Hodgepodge Summer 2021 edition, and that's available for you on HAPSIE.com. In fact, you can find every episode of Greedy Greg on HAPSIE.com, and if you tune back in here, you can hear me read another episode very, very soon. Thanks for tuning in, and feel free to let me know if you have any questions about HAPSIE, or Greedy Greg, or a fun idea for a story. I'd love to hear it. Until next time, bye now.